Across the Bridge, written by Richard Jordan. One morning on the island of Sodor, a few of the engines came to see Gordon the big engine off. He was pulling the big express all the way to the mainland and would not be back until tomorrow. It must be so exciting to see how the other half lives, Duck chuckled. It's a different world across the bridge, smiled Gordon. I'll tell you all about it when I return tomorrow. Goodbye. With a whistle, the big engine pulled out of the station, his coaches gliding smoothly behind him. Soon he rounded the bend and was out of sight. James looked longingly at the platform where Gordon had been. Oh, if only the Fat Controller would let one of us take the express to the mainland once in a while, he sighed. You know, Duck started, on the Great Western we had a special train called the Cornish Riviera Express. One of the big engines pulled the coaches part of the way, but before passing over the bridge, a smaller engine would take over. If the Fat Controller started doing that, then you could pull the express all the way to the mainland. Duck, of course, was only joking, but this gave James an idea. Gordon returned next morning and talked endlessly about the channel, the big buildings, and the city life he encountered on his journey across the mainland. James was riveted by Gordon's ornate descriptions and felt more than ever that he wanted to go to the mainland. One day, Gordon was due to take the express to the mainland once again. The express was essentially non-stop until reaching the final station before the bridge, Vickerstown. This gave Gordon a chance to rest and replenish his coal and water before setting out again. Gordon's journey that day had proceeded like any other. He had made the trip so many times that he knew the way almost by instinct. He set his coaches down in the platform at Vickerstown and uncoupled to retire to the yard for a nice long drink. He had made such good time that day he decided to take a short nap, which, I'm sorry to say, permitted a great deal of mischief. While Gordon dozed, James the Red Engine, who had waited at the station for Gordon, slowly and silently slunk over to the platform where Gordon's coaches stood. It had taken some thorough convincing of his driver to allow what happened next. It all happened so fast. There was the guard's whistle, which woke Gordon, followed by the unmistakable sound of James's whistle as he set off across the bridge to the mainland with Gordon's express. Stop! Stop that train! Bellowed Gordon from the sidings, but it was too late. James had bugled the guard into letting the train pass through the station yard and across the bridge. Before Gordon could find his way back, James was gone. Gordon seethed in anger. James, on the other hand, was loving his scheme. The deep blue water of the channel swirled beneath his wheels, and ahead he could see the buildings, taller than he had ever seen in ages. This is fun, he tittered. It's been such a long time since I've been to the mainland. I wonder where I'll go first. But James would never find out. James had forced the train to leave the station too early, and the signalman hadn't changed the points to allow James to pass. And he was set by accident up the wrong line, right into the path of another engine. Both engines screeched on their brakes and stopped just inches from each other. The big city engine, who was pulling an important train to Sodor, fumed dreadfully. Foolish engine! This is my line! Why are you on it? And where is Gordon? The engine's questions were answered shortly thereafter, as Gordon pulled up behind James. He pulled a single brake van, out of which stepped the Fat Controller. "Fool me once, shame on you," said the Fat Controller coldly. "Fool me twice, shame on me." "What do you mean, sir?" "Silence!" boomed the Fat Controller. "I gave you a second chance when you took Gordon's coaches as a joke once before, James, but I'm finding it very hard to do the same thing. You deliberately took Gordon's coaches all because you wanted to go to see the mainland. James, if you wanted to go to the mainland, all you had to do was ask." The Fat Controller paused to catch his breath. "I can't even begin to say how disappointed I am in you, James." "But, sir, Duck said on the Great Western it's custom to have a smaller engine to take over the express." "Do you know why they have that custom?" No, sir." "They changed to a smaller engine because the Royal Albert Bridge cannot support the weight of the big locomotives." James gulped. The Fat Controller took off his hat, rolled it between his hands, and sighed deeply. "We must get Gordon and this fine engine's passengers on their way as soon as possible. We cannot change trains on the bridge, so you will have to take the passengers the rest of the way." He pointed a finger sternly at James. "But hear me well, James the Red Engine. This is not a pleasure trip. When you return from the mainland tomorrow, I intend to make you some very, very significant changes." Soon, James was placed back on the proper line and finished his journey to the mainland, highly uncertain of what his future would look like when he returned to Sodor.